You're watching Around Town with Henry Dormann.
Around Town is sponsored by Chemung Canal Trust Company. They're really nice people. Trust is their middle name. Service is their motto. And I like them a lot, and that's why I bank there. If you ever come by to look me up, I'll be in the vault. Safe place. Wow, what a place. Wait till you see this place. It's called Seneca Lodge, and it's just outside of Watkins Glen. And the fellow that owns it, his name, this is a tongue twister. Brett Brubaker. Not bad, I did that pretty well. He owns it, young fellow. How did you get to do this at such a young age? And before, now we got 8 minutes, and I'm finished talking after I introduce you. So you got to say what you've got, what's luxurious, what's a good bargain, what's the best time to come, and all the other great things that I should know, but you're going to tell me.
All right, well.
And including the arrows in the wall. They got arrows in the wall over here. Fascinating place. Nice fellow. You got to see him when you come here. Take it away. It's all yours.
Actually, I'm only one of the owners. It's a family-owned business, and I own it along with my mother, father, and uncle. Then another brother and sister work here full-time.
It's nice to know the whole family is wealthy.
Well, we're here. I don't know if we're wealthy. We have a lot of wealth, but uncles, we give as much away as we get. But yeah, my grandfather moved up here from Pennsylvania in 1944. He built this main lodge in 47, and then the winter of 47 it actually burnt down, and then they rebuilt it by August of 48. And the reason they built it back so quick was they had headquarters for the first Grand Prix through the streets downtown in Watkins.
Wow.
Yep. And my grandfather, Don Brubaker, he was one of the lead guys to get the racing here in the streets, along with Cameron Argetsinger and a couple other fellas.
And what kind of
one
facilities
lady.
do you have now? You have luxurious cabins, regular cabins?
Yep, we have several new cabins that have been built within the last 5 years. We still have 4 of our older cabins, which are very rustic. It's a little too rustic for some people, but other people love it. We have.
Are these expensive?
No, they're very reasonable, especially for in season in a seasonal place.
Like what?
They range from $65 to $90 a night.
65? That's
Yep.
really cheap.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's really inexpensive.
And then the motel rooms they're right around $90 a night.
And
For most times. I mean, a couple of the bigger weekends they go up just a little bit, but not.
And during the season
Not
it's
too
higher
much.
than it is on off-season. Do you close off-season?
We shut down. We do a brew fest the first weekend of December every year. We have a great buffet. We have 8 different breweries on Friday night and 8 different on Saturday night, and it's a one price ticket, and it includes everything for the night. And you can stay also.
And you've got world-famous ribs once a week, right?
And every Saturday night we do barbecue spare ribs and spare ribs with
But they're
sauerkraut.
famous. They're famous.
They are famous. And we also have a great prime rib, and the locals' favorite is our London broil.
But now that I'm ready for lunch, you're not open for lunch today.
We don't do lunch anymore. That was a hard one to get rid of, but most of the business now for lunch is downtown, and we're just a half a mile up from the bottom of the hill at the south entrance.
Tell me this,
State Park.
why are there so many arrows in the walls of the different rooms?
The arrows are my grandfather again. In 1951, he was an avid archer, and he brought National Field Archery to Watkins Glen in 1951. And the first year they had the tournament was on lodge property, and my dad and uncles helped set the courses up, but they let the winners shoot their arrows up in the wall. I don't know if you can see that from here, but and then
And not only one wall, but many walls.
Yep, and then like the ones you're talking about, the big clusters of them, those are called the farewell arrows, and those were shot in by everyone at the tournament, and then they would give us the block of wood with the arrows in it. The ones in the wall are winner's arrows.
You got a lot of great stories.
There are many stories here.
What's one of the funniest?
One of the funniest? Oh man, I can't think right now. I know on this piano we had a Francois Cervere, famous race car driver in Formula One days. He would play the piano when he would come. And he passed away tragically at the track in 73, I believe it was.
You've lived through a lot of adventures.
I was too young to know that adventure, but I've heard the story several times. But
There have been many famous people that have stayed here, not only because of the Glen, but just because of its
yep,
it's a wonderful location.
yep, we've seen Paul Newman come in quite a bit when he was racing with SCCA, and
So instead of other hotels, they would stay here.
a lot of them stayed here back in the Formula One days, and nowadays most of the teams they stay in Corning or Elmira at the bigger hotels.
What do you like most about what you do? You must have an awful lot of fun running a place like this.
I like the most are the repeat people. They come in our doors and they love it because it's very unique. We're relatively inexpensive. They meet the staff and everybody's friendly. Like our NASCAR weekend now, I keep going back to racing, but I kind of joke that it's a family reunion now because it's the same people in our 80 rooms that come back every year. So it's like everybody knows everybody, and they've been staying there for 15 years or so.
And you close for the winter.
Yep, we close right at the end of November. We do that Brew Fest first weekend of December, and then we shut down and we reopen the beginning of April. Then the restaurant will open it towards the end of April.
For dinner only.
We do breakfast and
Breakfast
dinner.
and
We do
dinner.
breakfast every day from 6 to 11.
I hear the breakfasts are unbelievable.
Breakfasts are very good. And a lot of people don't realize we do breakfast here, but we've been doing breakfast for 50 years or so.
And what do you do when the place closes?
What do? I usually get my hammer out and tool belt and go to work,
Fixing things up
fixing things up
year round.
year round. There's projects can go on. If you can't find something to do around here, you're not looking hard enough. 'Cause
Well, aside from being the owner, you must have some things that you like to do every year.
Yep, well, I'd like to do some more things, but we did start a microbrewery here also in 2010. We're on our 8th year, and we're selling more beer out of house now.
Really?
So if you look around, you might be able to find us on tap at local restaurants or
Really?
bars. Yep.
That's a nice investment.
Yeah, we're not down in Elmira too much yet, but we just started expanding on that side of.
But give you time.
Yes. Everything takes time.
You're going to be a mogul, right?
You have to be what?
You're going to be a mogul.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. You talked very well. See, that was easy, wasn't it?
Was that 8 minutes already?
Yeah, 8 minutes already, and you talked about everything. Now we're going to go and pick the arrows out of the wall.
I probably forgot half the things, but I should have had a cheat sheet.
Look him up when you come. Should they phone or make a reservation?
Yeah, we have a website that's actually in the process of getting redone, but that's just senecolodge.com, and our phone number is 607-535-2014, and we still do reservations all by phone. We haven't stepped up to modern technology with the internet reservations for our rooms.
And that makes part of this because it's very cozy. This is a cozy place, log cabins, really homey, nice, extremely friendly, led by him. So look him
Yes.
up when you're here. I'm going to have lunch now in someplace else, but I'm coming back for dinner. Okay?
All right, that sounds good.
Thank you
I look
very,
forward
very
to seeing
much.
you again.
Me too. Looking forward to that. But it's ribs on Friday,
Nope, Saturday.
ribs on Saturday. That's most important. I hear this all over the place, all around here. It's famous. Got to try it. Okay?
Around Town with Henry Dormann will return in a moment.
Yeah, it's going down. We about to live it up, y'all. Let's go.
It's a big world, and now we're loving this town. It's our turn, so put your hands up. We on the big screen, and everybody's here living out our dreams. Dreams, whoa. Yeah, yeah. Don't be scared, take a chance. Come on, give me a hand. It's time to laugh, time to smile. Now let's get up and dance. Come on, everybody, let's live it up. Let it out if you can't get enough. This right here gon' make you jump, jump, jump. This is home. This is the place.
Life, it never stops moving, getting from here to there, managing long hours at work, juggling a busy home. You need a bank that keeps up. That's Chemung Canal Trust Company. Bank online, bank with our mobile app, deposit a check with your smartphone. Open an account at Chemung Canal and bank with us anywhere, anytime. Chemung Canal Trust Company, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We now return to Around Town with Henry Dormann.
You'd be surprised at all the things that happen underwater, and we're going to find out about some of them today, because this distinguished looking fellow is Robert Byland, who's head of the Finger Lakes Underwater Preservation Association. I never knew there was such a thing.
No.
But we're at Seneca Lake, and I thought that underwater had to do with all the growth and the plants that grow. But this is about all the things that have sunk down that are really historical items underneath many parts of the lake.
That's correct.
Do you go down in all of these things and find them?
Well, I've brought some of our equipment here, but we have a whole set of equipment we have to wear to be able to live in that environment. It's a whole totally different world under there. And so we have a group of us, like I said, in 2005, got together, and some of the things that we had, the history of this area, from the formerly Jefferson, now Watkins Glen, used to transport huge amounts of coal up to Geneva and lumber out of this area. And some of these barges would sink that they were towing them on. So they are in the bottom from early 1800s up to probably 1910, maybe in that range. So there are all kinds of different things to go down and look at, the different styles, the different lengths. And over time, some of the older ones have started to sort of decay. The lake has preserved it because it's a very cold lake, so wood tends to stay a long while. But after a while, it's subject to decay and worse, and that's where we got together. Fishermen dropping anchors, which they need to do to fish, or pleasure boats out there. Then these anchors would hit these wrecks, and then they would pull the anchor up and destroy the wreck. Oh. So we got together as a group and called ourselves the FLUPA, Finger Lakes, FLUPA, Finger Lakes Underwater Preserve Association. And then
FLUPA is a hard name to forget.
I know, we kind of fun picking that one out. But the lake ended up getting together and getting the state, and we went to the state and we said, look, can we put buoys out here so the fishermen can tie up to the buoys, don't have to drop their anchor and won't be drifting away, and they can fish, and we can save some of these wrecks that are underneath and dive. We got the state to look at it, and the state did some studies, and it turned out that for every diver from outside the area that comes in here, economically, they spend anywhere from $200 to $300, $400 on a day with hotels, food, entertainment, and paying to dive, go out and get their tanks filled and things. So it's a nice industry for the area.
Now, I have to ask you this. Is there buried treasure any place there?
Sort of.
Like what?
Out on Salt Point, which is up the point out there, when you go around the point, there's a whole bunch of carts, and we don't know what they are. They're like barrel carts, but maybe 10, 20 of them out there. And as you're going around the point, and there's a little bit of a current, so you're drifting by, there's a ammo box out there. And inside of it, it has some coins in it. And if you dive on it, you can open the box, take out one of the coins, and maybe leave something if you like. So,
really?
Yeah.
Do people do that?
We have a challenge coin, they call it. And we made those up, and they're gold covered. They aren't gold, but they're gold covered. So we put them out there so that when divers from out of the area come in, and we advertise this to them through our website, they come in, they look at it, and they can go out there and they take something from the area, which is kind of fun that they pick up underwater.
Sure.
We've also come to the realization too that these wrecks are dying, partly usage and partly age. So we've also approached the state and said, can we have permission to sink something? And our logic is pretty simple. Right now in 1800, when one of these barges went out and they had a problem with it, they would sink it. It's an old barge. You ever feel barges all over the place? Well, 100 years later, the barges, wow, we go down and we see this thing, we see some of them, and some of them further north are just pristine almost. And you can walk around the outer edge of them, you go down inside of them, come up in the cabins. So they're unique for us now.
Do you charge for people to go and do this?
No. There's one dive shop that supplies dive equipment, and it's up in Beaver Dams. That's S&R underwater, and he fills tanks and he has repair and sells some of the equipment if people need it. And we do a lot of people make arrangements. In fact, there's supposedly some divers out there now from out of the area, and they.
What would you like people to do? To join your group?
If they're divers or they like to learn to dive, we'll be glad to get them into a class and teach them. And it's a unique world. Unfortunately for me, I had the unfortunate experience of having I learned to dive about 10, 12 years ago. And when I got in the water the first time, I made the realization I had made a big mistake in my life. I should have been in the water at 5 years old. What a wonderful time I would have had. So it's addicting for me, and I think other people have gotten in there.
Now, if people want information or anything, who do they contact you? Email,
There's
telephone?
We keep a website called FLUPA, FLUPA.org.
Can't mistake that.
No, it's kind of fun name. And we have pictures, we have some video of some of the underwater, some of the guys have done video. We posted some video of some of the wrecks that are out there and stuff. And I was alluding to earlier, we've asked the state if we can actually take a boat that we have that one of the marinas has donated to us and clean it up so it's safe. We could tow it out and sink it. Because to us right now, it's just a 30-foot cuddy. But in 100 years, divers coming in will look at that. So our proposal is that as each one of these wrecks decay that were old, can we put something new in the water?
What did the state say?
Well, we're in the process of working out with that. We're at the point where we have to tell them how we're going to do this and how we're going to clean it. That's going to them, and then as a result of that, they'll review that. We'll have an open hearing here locally, so people get to their input.
When you finish and sink it, can I dive?
You can dive anytime. You don't have to wait for that.
You don't think I'm too old?
No.
No?
No. No, not at all. In fact, I think you'd love it. It is a unique experience.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
I'm not wearing this for nothing, so I'm getting ready. I'm going down with him, but I'm not going down. I'm going down with you.
Go down with us.
We'll let you know when you can come and watch us. Be a thrill.
Around Town with Henry Dormann will return in a moment.
Life, it never stops moving. Getting from here to there. Managing long hours at work. Juggling a busy home. You need a bank that keeps up. That's Chemung Canal Trust Company. Bank online. Bank with our mobile app. Deposit a check with your smartphone. Open an account at Chemung Canal and bank with us anywhere, anytime. Chemung Canal Trust Company. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Strawberries? Okay.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
This is home.
We now return to Around Town with Henry Dormann.
Do you ever feel like you need a treat on a bad day? It happens to me all the time. I found a place. Not only can you get a treat there, but the name of the place is Dimitri's Treats. And there is no Dimitri, and I want to find out why. This is the fellow that owns the place in Corning on Market Street, and he's going to give us the address. Get ready, because you're going to want to come here to eat. Tom Freeman, Freeland.
Freeland. Yep.
How did you get into Dimitri?
Dimitri is actually my wife's maiden name. Her grandfather, who's Dimitri, owned a confectionery in Olean about 100 years ago. Last year we opened as our anniversary. As his anniversary would have been 100 years old, and we opened the store thinking it could be a nice ode to him, and it was an element that we thought was missing on Market Street.
What's the address?
We're at 13 East Market Street, just a couple doors down from Centerway Square, and in a great location for a lot of people to
Terrific
stop in.
location.
Absolutely.
Are you open 7 days a week?
We are seasonally open 7 days a week in the summer. In the winter, we do close on Sundays.
And Dimitri, you're not Russian.
Nope, it's actually Albanian.
Albanian?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, they were originally from Albania.
Did you ever see that movie, Wag the Dog?
I have not seen that.
With Robert De Niro, where the United States declared war on Albania?
No.
No? Very funny movie. If you haven't seen it, look it up. I can't get over the array of real treats that you have. Why don't you explain what's in each of these jars?
Okay.
And how do you keep them fresh and filled?
Right.
And how do you keep the customers filled?
We definitely keep the customers filled. We have a variety of stuff from nostalgic. You know, the adults are excited to come in and see some of the oddball Bit of Honeys and Squirrel Nut Zippers and Zots and Pop Rocks. And
Have you got O. Henry bars?
We do have O. Henry bars.
Thank goodness.
We have a lot of new stuff. You know, the younger kids these days are interested in the gummy bears and the sour items and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff's on our bulk candy bar. It's just mix and match. We have a selection of saltwater taffy.
What does that mean, mix and match?
Just mix and match. If you want one piece of, you know, carrot cake taffy and 3 gummies and something else, you just mix them up and throw them in a bag, and we weigh it up for you.
Oh, it's by weight?
Yep, everything's by weight.
Is it expensive?
It's not too bad. It's reasonable compared to other tourist outlets, but maybe a little more than you would pay somewhere else.
Well, that's because you've got so much more in one place.
Yeah. Yep. And we can't buy in the bulk that some of the big retailers can buy in.
And it's so clean.
Yeah, thank you.
And you've got happy lights in the ceiling.
We do. We've got a little bit of color everywhere and lights everywhere.
Explain as we go down which of these has what, because you've got tables filled. How do you keep track of it? Can you start here and say, what's on the top, what's on the bottom shelf, what's over there, and what's over here?
The easiest
and
thing to do.
And you've got shelves on the side.
Yeah. The easiest thing to do is to tell people the tabletops are the bulk candy. Everything beyond that, everything on the lower levels and the shelves around is more of a per item price.
Mm-hmm. How do you decide where to put what? As far as what on the walls and...
Absolutely a puzzle. We move things and fix things all day long. As new products come in, we specialize, we like to get new products. We like to have new things in for people to try.
How do you keep from getting fat?
Look at me, I am sort of fat.
You're eating your own product.
It's tough, but you know, after 18 months, it's old now. I don't try as much as I did when we first started.
You opened 18 months ago.
Yep.
How do you find business? Because the season hasn't really started yet.
Right.
Because when this goes on the air, it'll just be beginning.
Right. Winter months are difficult. The summer months are much better with tourism. And obviously when we did our business plan, we paced it out. You know, every few months there's a good holiday between Valentine's and Easter and Mother's Day. And so every month has a little bit of an added bonus.
You got everything but ice cream.
We do actually have ice cream. We
have ice cream
We don't
too.
have scooped ice cream. We have novelty ice cream bars and Magnum bars and ice cream sandwiches. And And one of the favorites in the area is Dippin' Dots. We're one of the only retailers that has Dippin' Dots in the area.
I never heard of that. What is a Dippin' Dot?
Dippin' Dots were 30 years ago when they came out. They were the ice cream of the future. They're little extra frozen balls, very, very deep frozen, and we sell them in pouches. And they're very popular
You
with the
figured
kids.
it all out.
We tried to.
So when you have the season and people come in, you're open 7 days a week
Yep.
from when, 9 to 5 or later?
During the summer months, we're open 10 to 8.
10 to 8.
And from 12 to 5 on Sunday.
And then after that, you can go around before you close and test things.
Oh, absolutely. We have to make sure everything's okay.
You look like such a happy guy.
We try to be. My kids keep me happy.
They must love it here.
They love it here.
To have a father that owns a candy store.
Absolutely. Nothing better, right?
You planned it this way.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite, or what I should say, what's the favorite of the customer? What's the biggest selling item?
Right. The stuff that we make in-house, we use Ghirardelli chocolate. We make a large selection in-house from barks to s'mores to dipped Oreos.
The Ghirardelli, they come in little frozen squares too. Is that the way you serve them?
No, we have a dipping wafer, and we melt them down and make our own stuff out of the wafers.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. You came up with that?
We came up with it. We chose Ghirardelli because it has a great return. It's a very popular name, and it's very well liked in the chocolate industry, so we chose to go with Ghirardelli.
Have you been out to San Francisco?
I have not. I can't wait to go.
They've got a whole block out there of
Yep.
nothing but factory that makes
Yep.
chocolate.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's all good news.
yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say I knew Mr. Ghirardelli, but he was too old for me to have known him. You have a wonderful place.
Thank you.
What are the things on the top up there? Are those bunnies that you sell?
Yeah, we have webkins.
Webkins? What's a webkin?
A webkin is a stuffed animal the kids get into.
Really?
Yeah, it has an online component to it, and
I'm learning
kids
about
like
all these
those.
things now. My children are all grown up, but you must know more about children thanks to what they like than
Yep.
anybody else.
Yep, absolutely.
Did you do surveys?
But as part of the business plan, we did check around with people and kind of survey and see what they would like and what they would be interested in.
Did you take a business plan from your father-in-law?
No, those are pretty long gone.
Why did you come up with what's this behind me? Brookies?
Yeah, Brookies. They're something new we just got in this week. There's a brownie and a cookie baked together. Come in different flavors, caramel, peanut butter.
I'm going to spend the day here. Did you come up with this business plan because you went to Harvard or someplace?
Oh, absolutely not. I graduated from SUNY Fredonia, and I was actually a graphic designer on the street for 25 years. And the business was just kind of down ramping, and I lost my job, so I started looking for something else, and this is where I ended up, as an ode to the grandfather.
If somebody has a question, where can they call you, or can they look on the web?
Yep, we have a website. It's treatscorning.com, and we're also on Facebook, and they can check us out there, and there's a whole listing of everything we have.
And you can check me out here, because this is where I'm going to be, having my treat. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You've got some treats here. Wait till you see this place. Worth coming to Corning. I'll be here. I'll be sitting right here because I won't be able to get up.
You're watching WENY HD.